Notts County Talk. It's the discussion with me, Tom, and the guest Holly. We've just beaten Sutton United 3-2 at home. Fantastic performance. Some individual performances today that I think have shocked everyone. But first, Holly, what are your emotions now after that?
I think she might have frozen, but we'll get her back in a second.
What are your emotions then, Tom? Come on, tell me.
Unreal. I'm sat there and I'm thinking, who's taking the penalty? And I'm thinking, is it going to be Sam? Is it going to be Wootton? And I didn't expect it to be Rodriguez. I did not expect it to be Ruben Rodriguez at all.
Credit to him stepping up.
It's such a cool penalty. It's such a good penalty. Straight in the bottom corner. It's just, honestly, I've missed that feeling for six games or so. Holly's just back. I think you disconnected there, Holly. But we're just saying, what are your feelings? What are your feelings after that?
Relief for a start. But do you know what? As soon as we scored that first goal, I thought this was our game. I thought we were just a better team. I know they had a spell of possession in the first half where they could have probably scored a couple. But every time we went forward, I felt comfortable, not on the ball. I felt like we were going to make something happen. And we did. We had 2 disallowed goals in the second half. So I just thought, even when we went down to 10, that we wanted it more than Sutton.
Yeah. Just before we carry on, look at all of the comments coming in. It's finally we can finish a game, and there's just fans that are just happy. We haven't seen it for weeks. I don't know. I think it was something like the 4th of March when we last got a victory, or 4th of April. Sorry, last got a victory. Yeah, just a manner of it. And I was just saying to Holly while we're waiting for you to come into the chat room, George, 10 men, Notts and 10 men. I mean,
yeah, strikes again.
It would have been the goal. It would have been so easy to sit back. It really would have been easy to sit back and soak it up and think, because in the context, if we'd have drawn 2-2, good result. It's a good result. But to go on and, like Holly said as well, disallow goals, and we're still pushing, another disallowed goal, still pushing, the beliefs there. The performance against Altrincham, it's completely opposite. Where has this been in the past few weeks?
Well, there's controversy surrounding that now, isn't there? Well, obviously, Ross's departure. You don't know if that's had any sort of implication on the game. So I think, I'm not going to put it down to whatever happened there, but, it could have been a contributing factor. But today, when you're thinking sort of the odds are stacked against us with all of that stuff going on behind the scenes, the media boycott, you feel like you're a bit left in the grey, don't you? But, what a way to sort of to shush the Birchland out people already. Do you know what I mean? What a way to play. We played with so much confidence. I've not seen Notts play like that for a long time. It feels like the squad that was playing well at the end of last season. Do you know what I mean? That sort of confidence. So, and Sutton was so good. They were so vicious on the attack. On the counter, they literally felt like they were going to score every time.
Was it Alafe? Was it Alafe, their winger?
To be fair, I do feel like for their first goal, Rawlinson should have probably put himself in the mix a little bit. Could have probably got the ball. He obviously didn't. It doesn't matter now, but he was unbelievable, wasn't that, Alafe? He got man of the match, didn't he? But what a player he is.
Yeah, it's not often that Kelly Evans is, let's be fair, Kelly Evans was dominated all game. He's come on loan from Millwall. You can see why he's there. We're playing a team with players like that, and we're beating them twice. Now, all of a sudden, we're worried about the playoffs. And we're unbeaten against Torquay, if I'm not being daft. I think we're unbeaten against Torquay. We're unbeaten against Sutton. All of a sudden, in 90 minutes of football, we've gone from being the most downhearted fan base in the country to absolutely buzzing. Holly, what does it mean for Carl Wootton?
It just kind of sets him off because everyone kind of focuses on him and puts a microscope on him because he is the top goal scorer and he's not scored in so many weeks and all this. But you can't put that pressure on a striker because sometimes you just don't get any chances. And he's not that kind of striker that creates his own chances as well. He's kind of that kind of target man you also look for. He does a lot of work off the ball as well, I'm not denying that. But it sets him up now, takes the pressure off him, and you could just see after he scored that he was hungry for the second and the third, and I'm surprised he didn't step up to take that penalty, but it was a cool penalty anyway, so I don't blame Rudin for taking it.
You could see confidence coming back in Wootton. All of a sudden he was at the byline, keeping the ball in play. It's a weight off his shoulders, and I don't want to tempt fate, but imagine if he starts to come into form as a playoff run sort of comes to a head, as well as Rodriguez. We've got to mention him. I've got 5-6 players written down here. Rodriguez, George.
I think Rodriguez, every time, I don't know, I just feel like every time he's on TV he does really well. I don't know if that's me plucking something out of thin air there, but today, like, they were bigging him up so much in the lead up to the game, and I thought, you know, I'm not putting him down or anything, but they were saying that, like, I liken him to Carl Roberts. You know what I mean? And obviously he's a great player who can offer a team a lot, but I sort of feel like it's a strange comparison. But today he's shut me up, Annie, because he was fantastic. And the way, like I've already said it, credit to him for stepping up for that penalty as well, because he's a young lad. You know, for him to do that and what that meant for the club to get the 3 points today. It's a lot of pressure for him to take on himself, and he's done it, and cool penalty. But another player as well that I think was absolutely, like, probably his best game in a not shirt was Miller.
Knew you were going to say that.
Unbelievable. Like, his link up with Chickson was incredible. If those players that we've mentioned there can play like that for the majority of the remainder of the games, there's no worries that we're going to be in the playoffs, in my opinion.
Yeah, I got to agree. Chickson's playing out of position.
Chickson as well. What a game he's had today.
He's fantastic. Him and Miller on that side. It's the usual BT commentary, isn't it? Not giving Notts credit. They're saying, "Oh, Sutton can't get it going down this right hand side." No, you're literally playing against Cafu and Maldini down the right hand side. Of course, they're not going to get anything right. Like Miller, honestly, I'm sure Miller did like 4 nutmegs, and I'm just there shouting at TV every time he does a nutmeg, thinking we've signed some Brazilian 1970s player.
Hopefully, we can hold on to him.
Honestly, he's put in an unreal performance. I was thinking as well. Genuinely, I know he hasn't scored a goal or got an assist. That's one of the performances of the season from any player.
Yeah,
because
you're
playing against a very good side. A very good side, and he's playing like that.
He was making it happen as well. Like, he was running at players. I mean, like you said, he's megging players. Just the confidence he's shown from a player that shouldn't really have that amount of confidence when you're looking at the run of games that he has had for Notts and the performances he's had. So, fair play to him today. It was a good day for him, wasn't it? Definitely.
Let's look at Kelly Evans then. Obviously, the only downside to the game is Kelly Evans has a red. Holly, was it a red? 2 yellows? You think?
I think they were both 2 yellows, but I don't think his team helped him out. It was a suicide pass, as you'd say. You played him into danger. You played him into a 50-50 ball. I know you could judge it as he probably was a rash challenge, but in that moment, as that player on that wing back, having known that the ball's already come in from your side and they've already scored, you're going to put the tackle in. You're going to put it in, and he's put his body in the way. And personally, I do think he wins the ball first, but the manner of the challenge and the direction and angle that he went in, yeah, it did come across vicious. But I think we could look at it as a big downside, but now Brimley's back fit. It's a real opportunity for Brimley to get back in the team and get back to doing what he was doing kind of towards the end of last season. And I know Kelly is a big loss because he works so hard up and down that pitch, but we have got Brimley now. It's not like we're looking to bring in another loan player because Brimley is fit.
Yeah, I didn't think he won the ball on first viewing. I was thinking never.
Do you know what?
See why it's given.
I think he's done it on purpose because, we play better with 10 men.
Are you sure?
I'm sure, yeah. He's took one for the team. He knows Brindley's coming back and he's thought, I'm going to give him a game here. He's not getting much game time. He's took one for the team.
I did feel for him because when they get their equaliser, I'm thinking, surely someone said, don't leave Alafe one-on-one with Kelly Evans. Because to be fair, I think most fullbacks would have struggled against Alafe today. And
100%.
I also want to put this out there. This is not being bitter or anything. I don't think Alafe meant how he finished the first goal. And BT are going on like they've just seen Messi score goal of the season. He never meant that. Yeah.
It was
never ever.
It was a lunge. It was a lunge, and he kind of lunged and he got his foot underneath it. It wasn't. If you asked him to do it again, he could And I know
No
he was
way.
already falling. It was just a lunge, and it was just kind of a lucky goal. It was a fluke.
Yeah, George, we've got someone in the comments. You might have started something here, look. Strategic Kelly Evans red.
Me and Chris are always on the same wavelength.
Yeah, I mean, it's worked. It's worked. I thought the ref was pretty poor today. It's a bit late to ask now, but I'd love it. I should have tweeted it. If someone could have got a clip of Kai Wotton getting snapped in half from their centre back, what's he got to do? And that's testament to Wotton as well, because he carries on, doesn't he? He gets up, looks at the ref as if to say, "You're having a laugh," and he just carries on.
I'd say he's so frustrated because it's every game, isn't it? He's had red cards because of it. Was it a red card? Yeah, it was a red card, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then he's had so many yellow cards. It's just I get frustrated. I think everyone gets frustrated for him, and he's discussed it in press conferences where he's like, "I feel like I'm being really hard done by." It's almost as if, I don't know. It's like they don't understand the role or something like that, and it's like you just feel like the odds are against him or something. It's so strange. Can't put your finger on why he's so unlucky with officials. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. There always seems to be an ops player like him. Sorry, Ollie, go on.
It's all right. I was going to say, you only got to look at kind of his match shirt after, like, the past couple of games. He's been wearing a V-neck. He's had it ripped either side of him. Like, come on, if they're not grabbing him, how's he done this? He's not cutting his own shirt, is he? Like, he doesn't play for fouls. He's not that kind of player. He's quite an honest player. He's not going to start diving like quite a lot of the Sutton players did today to get the ref's attention. Every foul he takes the challenge and he rides out. But one of these days he's going to get injured because of it, and we're not going to win that free kick. And that's a big player to lose. And you can't. It's a bit like, I'm not kind of saying that he's kind of anywhere comparable to Jack Grealish, but Jack Grealish got took out, and you barely won anything with him because he was such a good player. And it's kind of like they know Wotton's a good player, so the refs think that he can just handle it. But there's only so much you can handle, like getting battered every week and getting pushed and pulled. And at one point when the player just went through him, it's a bit of a joke. And like you said, the ref was awful today. It was like every Sutton player had a second chance. It was like they had a chance and then they had another chance before he even thought about a card. Whereas with us, one foul, that's yellow, that's done. Did we get 4 or 5 yellows?
4 or 5 yellows, yeah.
Yeah. I want to bring this in from Mitch. Fair point. We're getting caught with the outfielders, but Sam Slocum, confidence in the defence to have him back. I think he made a save at 1-1, really well down low to his right from.
How many times did he come and claim the ball as well?
Well, exactly. Really, really good.
Back.
I actually thought he'd be out for a bit longer with his bringing Steele in.
Does that mean he's Steele come back now then?
Well, I don't know. He's playing Sunday League last night. Can you go back to a Sunday League team? Like we've not loaned him from. Slocum, really, really good for me today. Really good.
Really good. Good point.
Something else, we gave Ardley a lot of praise, didn't we? When he managed games and he saw out. If I'm just trying to think about it, he saw out Stockport at home really well at 1-0. We've given him praise for different games like that. Birchnell has to have praise today. He has to.
He has a different approach, doesn't he? Like I think, he admits the way that he plays, the games are a lot more open. And if you're going to sort of contrast this Sutton game to the Sutton, the reverse fixture when we beat them 1-0, I've never seen such it was just a poor game to watch, wasn't it? Both teams are sort of cancelling each other out. The defending was like on point, really. That's what made the game so boring. And the only opening we had was in like the 93rd minute where we beat them 1-0. So I think when you look at it in terms of a footballing perspective, it's just so much more interesting to watch, isn't it? It's just, and it's good to see that we can actually make it work for us, because the last couple of weeks, there's been question marks around it. But it's annoying, isn't it? When we can beat Sutton 3-2 at home and look good all game, but there's certain games where we just look not like we could really do much. But then on the flip side, you look at games like Eastleigh where we've lost 2-0. The performance didn't suggest 2-0, and I finally feel like now it's sort of turning the tides a little bit. We're performing well and we've got the result. So hopefully we can sort of continue that on now for the remainder of games. I think we've got 7 games left, if I'm right.
6 maybe now. Is it 6? I think. This is really interesting point from Kian. We beat Sutton last minute in both games. If we do get in the playoffs, fingers crossed, and we do play Sutton, there's a definite psychological edge in that, because we've had, I can't find the comment right now, but we've had a Stockport fan and a Torquay fan watching along with us, thanking us for what we've done. You know, we've seriously dented Sutton's hopes of automatic. Now, I've always been with the belief that if a team misses out on automatic, actually their mentality is negative from then on. They've missed out on the big prize. Now they've got to go again. You know, we've got an edge over them if we play them. I think in the playoffs now, they know that whatever they do, even with an amount of advantage, they can't beat us. They haven't been able to.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I feel like that with a lot of teams in the playoffs, though. Like, I feel like in and around the playoffs, there's a lot of teams that we have done really well against. The only team that would obviously be nervous to play, I think, is Hartlepool, isn't it?
Yeah, but you know they lost, didn't they, yesterday? And I just feel the same as what I've just said. You know, they're going to be right up there until nearly the last game of the season. If they then drop out of that, who knows? Who knows? Because
that's a good point.
It's going to be difficult. I want to talk about Enzio and the fact that he's not come on the pitch, and we're not even talking about that.
I don't particularly think it was his game today, if that makes sense. I think the way we were set up and the formation that we went to, I think wing backs worked really well. And I think the BT commentators pointed it out. They didn't know how to deal with the wing backs in the first half. And I know Enzio's played wing back before, but he is predominantly kind of an out-and-out winger. Like, he does defend, but it's not his kind of go-to, if that makes sense. And you kind of lose his attacking kind of prowess if you have him back defending. So I don't think it was his game set. And the only player I could probably see Birchnell making a swap for, if that was going to happen, would be in that kind of playmaker role where Ruben Rodriguez was just behind the strikers. But when you went down 10 men and Ruben had been on top of his game for like the whole 90 minutes, I don't think you make the change. I don't think you do it. And it's just one of those games. I think Enzio will get his time, but I don't think you disrupt that battle and the balance today, because they all were like going for it. And anyone that came on, credit to the subs that did come on, they put in 100%. No one kind of sat back. They all kind of came on with the same mentality and they all went for it. And I just don't think where you would have bought Enzio on, it would have been a good swap for anyone, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's testament to how well the players played as well. I think Eli Sam actually made a bit of an impact. The ball just, even if it's an extra, couple of seconds, the ball sticks and it allows our players to push up, and we seem to be able to press high once we've got the two big men up top. And I'm actually surprised he even made the team today, because I thought he was done under Birchnell, personally. I'm just looking at the table now then. So we are in 8th, 57 points, and Bromley and Wrexham are 6th and 7th with 58. So we're chasing the 6th and 7th spot. We've got a game in hand over both. Now, if we look at our fixtures, Barnet away, must win. Maidenhead away, must win. Maidenhead are decent. Maidenhead are currently 12th, and they held Wrexham, but they're must-win games. Absolute must-win. If we can take points out of them, we're then at home to Bromley. All of a sudden, if we can get a couple of away wins or at least minimum 4 points, and then stop Bromley winning against us, we're bang in there. And I can't stress enough, football is what it can do in 90 minutes to a whole season, to a whole fan base is crazy.
Do you know the good thing as well? Like today, sorry, just a quick point. They've released, haven't they, that the tickets for the last game of the season are out. And like after that, I cannot wait. I hope I get tickets. I just can't wait to be back. And I just feel like that game's going to have huge importance on the league, whether it be as creeping into the playoffs or as creeping up another spot or two in the playoffs. Oh man, can't wait. Sorry, Holly, go on.
No, that's literally what I was just going to say as well. I think that will be such a good point. Like if we go into that game kind of on the back of a run, maybe unbeaten or whatever, and we go into that game with the fans behind them. Some of these players have never played in a crowd. That's what we've got to think. And some of the decisions that the refs made today wouldn't have gone that way if you had the Notts fans in and the Notts fans backing the players. And I think this season's been a hard one for people to connect with the players and the game and the results because they've not been there. And I think you've seen it a lot, even though we're not like the Premier League teams. You have a lot of armchair fans that don't actually go to like the home or away games, having a lot of opinions when they wouldn't actually be there supporting the team. So I think once back in, I think we've just got to back them, regardless of where we are in that thing, because it could be the point that just pushes them over or pushes them up to secure playoffs, or it pushes into it. We don't know, but you've just got to go with the mentality, whatever happens running up to it, to just back them 100%.
Yeah, I fully agree. It's in our own hands now. It's literally in our own hands. We've got the game in hand. We're chasing the two teams we're realistically chasing now, Bromley and Wrexham. We played Bromley twice, Wrexham once. Wrexham's away. I see no reason why we can't go there and get something after what we've done today. Bromley, we've got them at home, obviously, and away. And the other games from that, Barnet, Maidenhead and Weymouth, you've got to be thinking, even when we're in the poor form, we've got to be thinking we need 9 points from that. So it's completely in our hands, and it's good. I think it's tomorrow morning, isn't it? The tickets are out for, is it tomorrow for Weymouth? Season ticket holders. Now, Holly, were you a season ticket holder last season?
Yeah.
So I don't know how many tickets were available. It's 4,400. So I'm pretty much guessing season ticket holders, if they want to go, a guaranteed ticket.
You'd like to think so, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I don't know how many season ticket holders we had that year, but I'd be guessing it was in like the 3,000 sort of the mark.
Yeah, I think it was.
So we should be okay with that, but you know, that's creeping closer now. What's it? 17, 18 days away, and after that, honestly, can't wait. I can't wait for Saturday's game. I think we play again Tuesday. I can't wait for that. Quickly then, George, who is your man of the match?
Gonna go blank face obvious and go Rodriguez. I think he was literally from the get-go today. He was at it, wasn't he? His first goal, I couldn't actually believe that went in, to be fair. It looked like he'd fizzed it a bit too wide, but that goal, like throughout the game, his input was second to none. And to step up that late in a game that meant so much to Notts' like end of the season run, I think that shows huge character, and he obviously backs himself, doesn't he? And it's good to see a young player have that confidence. So yeah, it's got to be Ruben for me.
Holly?
I think I'd have to agree. I think it was just outstanding today. Obviously, we've seen glimpses of it, but for the whole 90 minutes, it was just amazing to watch. And it was enjoyable to watch. But I think, kind of following that, I always look at the defensive kind of players, and I think Ellis, Miller. I think the whole defence was sound today, and I think Slocum, you have to give him a shout because he did do like a kind of point-blank save as well at 2-2 from across. So I think having him back was a massive boost. So yeah, Rodriguez.
I think in terms of stats, doesn't that go down as an Ellis assist? If you win the penalty, I think it's an assist, isn't it? It counts as. So, you know, he's literally come in. He's a goal scorer.
Contribution is a joke.
It is. He's playing. I'm sure I could see some blood underneath that headband or something. Like, he's nuts. But I'm going to go Rodriguez man of the match. Unbelievable. The calmness to take that penalty, but at the same time, I've got to say, Miller is that far away from me from being, joint man of the match. I think if Rodriguez hadn't scored the penalty, I'd have gone Miller. So yeah, everyone in that team, even like you said, George, Dion Kelly-Evans with that red card that he definitely meant to get.
100%.
You know, all positives. Feels so nice to actually do a positive discussion.
Yeah.
Holly, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm sure every time you come on, we've got to win, pretty much.
Yeah.
So we'll be inviting you on. Yeah. Also, keep an eye out on our social media channels tomorrow night around 7 o'clock. We're doing an announcement of a watch along, and it will certainly be a lot more interesting if we are in that vein of form. As always, thank you for joining us. Loads of you tonight celebrating the victory with us. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.